I know that as a Jewish person living many years in London, and having brought up in Britain, meat is often considered important to our diet, very much part of this festival and the Shabbat diet, especially red meat. And it's nice, it's tasty. And at the moment, it's very difficult because we need to think, consider, reflect around what our eating of meat and consumption of meat does for emissions of CO2. It's hard, really, because when we eat the food we eat, we're very distant from where it was herded, where it was processed, and where it comes from. The cattle that are put on deforested land, the herds that are put on deforested land, the agriculture that happens away from our country and other parts of the world isn't really in our mind when we buy the food we do. And so it's very hard to think around what are the emissions that are involved in cutting down forestry, in the methane gases that are emitted from animals. It's really hard to think about that, but we know that eating red meat involves much larger emission than even white meat, even chicken, poultry, and certainly having a more vegetable-based diet. So am I saying stop eating meat entirely? Well, not really. I'm certainly thinking of the portion this week, Parashat Toldot, where the relationship to meat is quite complicated. At the beginning, of course, we know that Jacob makes a meat stew, and Esau, his brother, comes back from hunting for animals, very, very much desiring very quickly to eat this meat stew. And even the language used is, pour it down me. And so we're not clear really with Esau. Is this meat that's to live, or is this meat because he really, really wants it and desires it? And so we need to think maybe around, this is a chance to think around eating for our health, and reducing red meat consumption is certainly good for our health. And also thinking about the sustainability of our world. And so reducing the number of days in the week, reducing the meals over Shabbat and Yom Tov that we consume red meat at least, is really, I think, an incredible positive thing to reflect on. Shabbat Shalom.